Hey Busters, welcome back to another Digimon card game video. In today's video, I want to talk about the current meta, specifically what kind of builds for each color is most prominent in tournaments. So today, I'll be talking about the purple decks, as it's what I personally ran these last 2 weeks, so I'm quite familiar with the playstyle of these decks. And currently, purple seems to only have really 2 builds, pure purple and a yellow hybrid. For pure purple, the basic strategy is to play as many of your level 3 Digimons and attack with them ASAP early game. The reason is that even if you lose the security check, that you actually don't care that much, as you actually want those level 3s in your trash, as purple actually revolves around bringing these Digimon back and utilizing their when destroyed effects to mill through your deck as well as draw through to grab your key cards. By mid-game, your trash should be somewhat filled to be set up for your ace Digimon PMon or Wizardmon, while you should have managed to also lower your opponent down to about 2 or 3 security, unless of course they're running recovery cards. Hopefully by now, you'll have managed to draw into your PMons, or Wizardmon is also good too, but it actually lacks the utility PMon brings to the table in terms of offensive and defensive usage. If you haven't won before late game, you'll have a rough time winning, as other decks will probably have set up their ace Digimon, and purple actually has no real answers to opponent's level 6 Digimon, save for Trump Sword and Millennium On. Hybrid Yellow, on the other hand, is a twist on the pure purple strategy with 2 different variations. The core strategy of Hybrid Yellow is basically the same as the pure purple, but it somewhat overcomes its late game weakness better than pure purple does. The first variation is an offensive build. Early game remains the same of throwing your level 3s at the opponent and hoping for some lucky breaks. However, for mid game and late game, you'll be relying less on PMons and Wizardmons and more on the yellow Digimon Petermon. As playing Petermon for its 5 cost will actually let you field a Tinkerman for free from your hand or trash, it gives you 2 Digimon to attack next turn, and it forces the opponent to waste resources to take them out, or delay their own moves by wasting time and memory playing defensive and utility cards. The second variation is more defensive, where instead of playing Tinkerman and Petermon, they play Drummon and Plotmon for the recovery abilities. Plotmon will let you recover 1 when it loses a security check and is destroyed, while Drummon will instantly let you recover 2 when you play it while you have 3 or less security cards. Drummon also synergizes well with Plotmon, as when you attack with Drummon, it lets you play a level 3 yellow Digimon for free when it attacks. So, next, I'm going to go over the key cards in the purple decks, along with the pros and cons. First, we have PMon, a staple in all purple decks. Just a note, I do want to say that in a previous video, I said PMon probably wasn't going to be warrant being played for its high cost due to its effect, but boy was I wrong. You see, by playing it for its 12 cost, assuming you got some lucky mills, or you had some Digimon that you really need and were destroyed, such as Evilmon or Devimon, PMon will instantly bring 2 of these purple Digimon back, assuming they're level 4 or lower. Here, you'll be looking for Evilmons for blocking, Devimons for their drag down ability, or Impmons for if you have some Wizardmons in your hand. PMon is actually extremely cost effective, as you're paying only 12 to bring 3 Digimon onto the field that will greatly hinder your opponent. However, the drawback is its 12 cost. By being a 12 cost Digimon, you're actually not guaranteed to be able to play it on your turn, as if you only start with 1, you can't exceed the -10, so if you only have 1, you can't actually play it for its 12 cost. Along with that, if you do manage to play it for its 12 cost, you're actually giving your opponent a lot of memory to work with, and possibly even letting them come out on top if they have the right cards to deal with what you bring back. But it's never really a dead draw and a great security Digimon, which is why it's usually run with a full max 4 copies per deck. This leads us to our next card, Millennium On. It's a great card, as both PMon and Wizardmon can both be used to evolve from. And when you evolve it, it's a godsend, as its ability lets you send 1 opponent Digimon back under their deck. However, given its huge 6 evil cost, more often than not, you'll be ending your turn as soon as you're done evolving it. Plus, it's a dead draw without PMon or Wizardmon, as it's actually a pretty useless card if you can't actually utilize its evolution, because its effect relies on having a evolution origin. As such, most decks only run 2, or sometimes 3 if they have a lot more level 6, whereas they also throw in Venom Vamdemon. Belzebmon, however, while not quite as vital as PMon, is still being run with about 2 or 3 copies per deck. It's this needed extra DP beat stick that purple really needs, as the average DP for purple is actually on the low end of the scale. Chimeramon, however, is a staple purple card. Its ability to trade 1 for 1 is amazing, and you usually end up with a +1, as you'll usually be sacrificing a Digimon that just finished attacking, or has an effect that lets you draw or mill cards. Also, by being a level 5, you can use it to evolve into your Belzebmons or PMons for cheap if you have the lead and want a strong Digimon with DP that won't lose to security checks. As it is only one of 2 removal cards that purple has, most decks run 4 copies in their deck. For its cons, the only real drawback is the fact that it can't target level 6 Digimon. However, even with this restriction, we still run 4 copies, and it's actually good enough that other colors such as red and even blue run it in their own decks. Moving on, we have the option card Night Rage, which is a staple. See here, for just 2 memory, you can bring back a level 3 purple Digimon like Bakumon for its draw 1 on destruction, or Impmon for Belzebmon. It's even better when revealed as a security, as the revived Digimon will instantly be able to attack on your turn, throwing off your opponent's calculations of how many security checks you could actually do on your next turn, possibly even winning you the game. Honestly, this card has no cons and is run 4 copies per deck. Next, we have Trump Sword, purple's removal card, but with the restriction of targeting only active Digimon. Most decks run full 3 or 4 copies as they need the removal, but the active targeting restriction makes it slightly less appealing. Yamato is definitely a key card. It grants you the minimum 3 memory to start every turn, and it lets you fish back that milled Belzebmon for the Impmon you're raising, or a Digimon that you really need for certain situations. However, as you need to play Yamato for its one-off effect, most decks only run 2 or 3, as any other Yamatos you draw into afterwards are deadweight, despite being able to fish a card back. But you do definitely need to run a Yamato, as when most opponents only give you 1 memory to work with, you more often than not only get to play 1 card and end your turn, where you really need those extra memory. For hybrid purple-yellow decks, however, the key cards they also include are Tinkerman, a vanilla yellow 3 Digimon, which by itself is useless, but its combo with our next card, Petermon. Petermon here allows you to play a Tinkerman from your hand or trash for free when you play him for its 5 cost. It's cost effective as it gets you 2 Digimon to play for 5 memory. Plus, with purple's milling power, finding a Tinkerman if you couldn't draw into one is easily to do in your trash. However, if you can't draw into Petermons, but you did manage to draw into those Tinkermons, Drummon is another great answer. Drummon, despite its high cost of 11, is actually a great utility card. When you play it, it allows you to recover 2, which is huge, and it nets you a huge beat stick on your turn, as well as being a strong security Digimon. Better yet, its effect of playing a level 3 yellow Digimon when it attacks, such as Tinkerman or Plotmon, which we will go over later, will put huge pressure on your opponent, and it makes them contemplate how best to deal with your sudden army of Digimon. Plus, by having a play cost of 11, you're guaranteed to be able to play it even if you only start with 1 memory. And as I mentioned before, Plotmon is a slightly cheap level 3 Digimon that can help you stay in the game with its recovery on destruction effect, as well as being played for free when comboed with Drummon. And the whole reason that hybrid yellow decks would even splash yellow versus other colors is Wizardmon. On its own, it's still run in 4 per purple decks, as it's a good level 4 with a good drawing ability on destruction. However, its gaining drag down when a yellow Digimon is on your own side of the field is great, as you can check security knowing full well the opponent will lose their attacking Digimon if they wish to take out your Wizardmon. A tech card that people have been decking into various decks to deal with other opponents, or specifically purple decks, is Volcanic Drummon. It has an effect of when you play it, it will destroy all opponents' Digimon with 4000 DP or less. And it comes with security attack +1, which is devastating as 1. Purple decks lack the options to deal with high DP Digimon, and 2. All of its level 3 and most of its level 4 Digimon all have 4000 DP or less, meaning just one Volcanic Drummon will usually more often than not wipe out your field. As such, even some purple decks run a few Volcanic Drummons just to counter when they're playing a mirror match. So, there's purple decks in a nutshell. Also, you might not have noticed, but purple decks actually only run one type of level 5 Digimon, and that's Chimeramon. The reason is that the other 3 options of Wergarurumon, Vamdamon, and Pumpmon just aren't worth running at all. Your level 4s will usually lose at security checks, and none of the previously mentioned level 5s have any good card effects. Despite them having EOEs, they aren't really worth it as you want to play PMon for its play cost effect, and you want to use your Belzebmon to evolve from Impmon for a cheaper instant blitz. However, if your deck does run lots of Venom Vandamon, then it might be a viable option to run other level 5s, but even then, just having Chimeramon is more than enough. Sadly, despite it being quite powerful, purple decks as well as black decks are currently at the bottom tier in terms of decks being run in tournaments. However, don't lose hope as there's a reason for this. Purple and black are the new factions introduced in set 2, meaning it only has one set worth of cards to pull from, whereas green has 2 booster sets, and red, blue, and yellow actually have a card pool of 2 booster sets, a starter deck, and tons of promo cards to pull from. Anyways, thanks for sticking around, and I hope you found this video useful. Let me know which color you want me to go over next, or any questions or comments you have down in the comment section below. Anyways, this is Buster-kun here, off to find his ice pick.